Good day, Gunners. Away from the Vinicius Juniors deal, let's pause to know what is happening with the Bruno Guimarães deal as of today. Let's dive into it in full. For months, Newcastle United have repeated the same message. Bruno Guimarães is not for sale. But now, everything appears to be changing. First reports claim Arsenal and Newcastle have officially opened talks, while another bombshell suggests Bruno Guimarães himself wants the move to the Emirates. And if that wasn't enough, a respected Brazilian journalist now says negotiations are very likely to move in a positive direction this week. So, has Mikel Arteta finally found the missing piece that could turn Arsenal from Premier League champions into genuine Champions League favourites? Or is this another transfer saga destined to end in disappointment? Stay with me because the latest update completely changes the picture. But first, if you're a passionate Gunner, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments. Would you pay over £100 million for Bruno Guimarães? Now let's dive into this breaking story. The story every Arsenal fan has been waiting for. For weeks, Arsenal supporters have watched this transfer saga go around in circles. One day, Bruno Guimarães is staying. The next day, he's Arsenal's #1 midfield target. Then Newcastle deny everything, only for fresh reports to emerge hours later suggesting negotiations are still alive. It's been confusing. But today, the strongest signs yet suggest Arsenal are refusing to walk away. According to fresh reports, Arsenal and Newcastle have now begun discussions over a possible deal for the Brazilian midfielder. That alone is huge, because until now, most people believe Newcastle wouldn't even entertain conversations. Yet behind the scenes, the situation appears to be changing. The biggest bombshell: Bruno wants Arsenal. Here's where things become really interesting. Reports now claim Bruno Guimarães has informed Newcastle that he wants to leave this summer. Not because he's unhappy, not because of a falling out, but because he believes this is the perfect time for a new challenge. And that challenge could be Arsenal. Think about that for a second. This isn't just Arsenal chasing a player. It's a player reportedly open to joining Arsenal. That immediately changes the dynamics of the negotiations. Because when a player wants the move, deals suddenly become much easier to complete. Why Arteta wants him so badly? It's not difficult to understand why Mikel Arteta is pushing so hard. Bruno Guimarães isn't just another midfielder. He's one of the Premier League's complete midfielders. He can defend, he can create, he controls the tempo, he wins duels, he presses relentlessly. And perhaps most importantly, he's already proven he can dominate in England. Had his outstanding World Cup performances, his leadership as Newcastle captain, and years of Premier League experience, and suddenly, Arsenal aren't buying potential, you're buying certainty. Imagine a midfield of Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, and Bruno Guimarães. That could easily become one of the strongest midfield trios anywhere in Europe. But there's a huge problem. Of course, if this transfer were easy, it would already be done. Newcastle remain determined to keep their captain. They've repeatedly insisted he isn't for sale. And because Bruno still has 2 years remaining on his contract, they hold a very strong negotiating position. Which means Arsenal will almost certainly have to make an enormous offer before Newcastle even begin considering a sale. This is where things become complicated, because Newcastle don't need the money. So Arsenal must convince them that selling their captain is actually worth it. The update that has fans excited. Now comes perhaps today's biggest development. Brazilian journalist Bruno Andrade has revealed that discussions between the clubs have created fresh optimism. According to him, this approximation made all parties more confident. And then came the sentence every Arsenal fan wanted to hear. It's very likely negotiations move in a positive direction this week. Those are significant words. Not next month, not later in the window, this week. If that's accurate, then Arsenal fans could soon have clarity on whether this blockbuster move is genuinely happening. What this means for Arsenal. Let's be honest, this isn't just about signing another midfielder. It's about making a statement. After winning the Premier League, most champions will be satisfied. Not Arsenal. Arteta wants to improve. He wants more quality, more competition, more leaders, more winners. Signing Bruno Guimarães would send a message to Manchester City, Liverpool, Real Madrid, and every club in Europe that Arsenal are not simply trying to defend their title, they are trying to build a dynasty. Should Arsenal really spend that much? But here's the debate. Bruno is now 28 years old. The transfer fee being discussed is enormous. Some Arsenal supporters believe paying such a huge amount for a player approaching 30 would be risky. Others believe elite players don't come cheap, and proven Premier League stars are worth every penny. So, is Bruno Guimarães worth breaking the bank for, or should Arsenal invest that money elsewhere? Final thoughts. One thing is now becoming increasingly clear. This transfer story isn't fading away. In fact, it's heating up. Arsenal appear determined. Bruno reportedly wants the move. Talks are said to be underway, and respected journalists believe negotiations could accelerate very soon. Whether this becomes Arsenal's biggest signing of the summer or another deal that slips away, the next few days could define the remainder of Arsenal's transfer window. Now I want to hear from you. Would you sign Bruno Guimarães immediately? How much would you honestly pay for him? Drop your opinion in the comments below because I read every single one. If you enjoyed today's update, smash the like button, subscribe for daily Arsenal news, and turn on notifications so you never miss another breaking transfer story.